Welcome to Capgemini Event Talks. Today we're going to be talking about APIs, API strategy, and what is the current state of affairs. With me is Edgar Mendelssohn. He's the expert on APIs for Capgemini. Edgar, welcome.
Thank you.
What's the current state of affairs in general for APIs at this moment for most larger of our clients?
I think we can. It starts with the evolution of APIs. I mean, APIs is not something new, but it started a while back by now. With PSD2 was the main driver, opening up the banking, getting more competition, more innovation in banking. So it was really regulatory driven. Mm-hmm. Banks had to respond to that, of course. Then they did more than absolutely necessary by building API platforms and opening up more broadly than just for PSD2. And then the question became, of course, okay, now we have all invested all this money. How can we monetize it? And that's, I think, broadly where everybody is now trying to answer the questions.
And are we already seeing some movement in the market there? What are the banks currently? Is there a certain percentage of banks that are currently doing this?
As Capgemini, we have the open banking market observatory. So that's where we track all the developments in open banking and API. So let me split it between PSD2 APIs and non-PSD2 APIs, because this is not just for financial services, but this is really broader, also non-financial services. So we see for the PSD2 APIs that about 50% of the new ones are charged. It used to be 20%, so you see an increase in the number of APIs that's getting charged. For non-PSD2 APIs, it's a little bit lower. And generally, we see they're getting charged, but really, I would say, not very creative yet. So just per call or just for having them. So it's really charging the API itself and not what you can do with the API.
So we're seeing this movement in the financial services market. Does this also happen in the non-financial services market?
Definitely. I think this is a broader trend in society. Things are opening up. People are sharing information. I mean, in the old paradigm, having exclusive information was giving you a competitive advantage. Now actually sharing information, being part of a bigger ecosystem, gives you a competitive advantage. So that's a big shift. So the companies that are exchanging information most efficiently are definitely the ones that are in pole position. But also the non-financial services. We have TomTom or DHL. There's a lot of examples where sharing information can be very valuable to the customers.
And do you see that as a direct impact on the way they position themselves, and does it change their value proposition?
This is really about value propositions. So how do you deliver value to the customers? What do they expect? Yeah, so it definitely changes more the whole business model than just a technology shift, for sure.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what kind of APIs are out there and any trends within this specific field?
I think APIs in the end are going to empower the user, the consumer. Basically, you're going to be your own CFO or your own chief procurement officer. Yeah? What that means is, what does a chief procurement officer do? Try to find the best deals. What does the CFO do? Try to make sure that the money spent is balanced with the money received. So all this technology enables the consumer in the end, or perhaps even the business, to become their own CFO or their own chief procurement officer. So a lot of the financial APIs are around budgeting, personal finances, about money management, about accounting, and all those kind of services. Outside financial services, it's really a lot about location. Where can I find something? For DHL, where's my package? Stuff like that. So that's a little bit different.
And do you see more and more crossovers, or is that not something that's happening just yet?
Yeah, for sure there's more crossovers. In the end, the end user doesn't care about a bank or a non-bank. They want to have certain services. And who's going to deliver that to them? That's quite agnostic. So what we see is a lot of the non-PSD2 APIs are actually where banks are sending information to non-financial services. Yeah, so that's about 3/4 of what is being built. A lot less about receiving, which is, I think, kind of perhaps indicative of the role of banks and the shifting role of banks in society. Are they going to be at the forefront of the customer interaction? Is the customer banks, and then are they going to be the integrator, orchestrator, whatever you want to use? Or is it some other party? yeah, it seems to be that banks are often more delivering information than receiving information.
So in the end, who do they deliver the data to?
Some usual suspects, like the big techs, but mainly we see in a lot of TPPs, third-party providers. It's a PSD2 term.
Yeah.
A lot of new licenses. So we are about 600 TPPs currently are live. Licenses are everywhere, and they are really trying to become the platform. Yeah, so they are really trying to build towards the APIs that banks are providing or other players are providing, and trying to aggregate it. And what we see there, by the way, PIS, so payment initiation services, that's really the volume is growing quite a lot, especially in the UK. AIS, account information service, that's a lot more stable. So that's where we see less uptick, at least in volume.
Thank you, Edgar. That was very insightful. If you want to know more about the Open Banking Market Observatory, feel free to contact us. For now, thank you very much for watching Capgemini Invent Talks.